Hey guys, this is my vloggy video response to my own video, Where do DJs see technology going? And there are probably a couple different things I'd like to talk about in this video. A lot of people are wondering why isn't technology moving forward faster than it is? I think a lot of that has to do with some of the purists out there. Within our community, you have DJs who want things to be like they were 30 years ago. 2 turntables and a mixing board and records. And that's it. Anything else, anything that mixes for you or any new technology is whack and should go away and be outlawed as far as this school of thought is concerned. Then you have your school that has the CDJ decks. They're a relatively new school, maybe, I'm going back maybe 15 years. They're using CDs and CDJs. They embrace new CDJ technology, but they don't like the computer-based stuff that mixes for you either, and they think anything that does is evil and should go away. This is not a new style argument in rock and roll. It's been happening for a long time. I was watching the Colbert Report on Comedy Central, and they had Quincy Jones on there. Don't watch the show like much, but I just turned on the TV in the kitchen while I was cooking, and there was Quincy, so I watched. And he was talking about how back in the 60s, synthesizers were a new phenomenon, and a lot of the musicians were like, dude, this is so whack. It's going to destroy music. It's not a real instrument. And Quincy was one of the first ones to use a synthesizer. He used it, here, I'll play it for you. He used it on the Ironside theme. You've probably heard this in movies lately, like Kill Bill used this every time, like, you know, she was going to freak out and kill somebody. They played this. But that was a big threat to people. And this was one of the first tracks recorded with a synth. It happened again with hip-hop. It happened 79, 80, Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight, and a lot of the other tracks that you heard back there, people freaked out because rappers and producers and DJs were using samples for hip-hop of other tracks, and everybody lost their minds. Oh my god, you can't do that, it's the end of music, blah blah blah. That was 30 years ago. We're still rocking, we're still sampling. It's become an art form. You have people like Daft Punk who have, wow, I mean, they're sample geniuses. And then back then, the Daft Punk of the day was Art of Noise. Again, sampling geniuses. And then you had your turntables hip-hop guys, Grandmaster Flash, who did it as well and did it well. But, yeah, not a new argument, guys. I personally embrace technology. I am part of the school who says technology is good, let's see it move forward. But boy, you know, the industry has got to be losing their minds knowing what the right thing to do is. They don't want to offend the purists, but they want to attract not only the technology-based DJs, but new DJs who want to come in and get involved with this without spending, you know, $1,200 per deck or $2,000 per deck. So, yeah, it's a growing hobby and pastime and profession, and technology definitely makes your life easier. God, I love having a computer with MP3s on it, not having to carry around records or even CDs. Those bastards were getting heavy too. Worrying about them scratching, worrying about my deck skipping. Man, I just have no interest in going back down that road. The problem I see is that technology with computer DJing has actually seemed to have gone backwards. I think the purists have made enough noise where it screwed it up for us. Mixmeister Pro 6, to me, is the best DJ program to date. And I think it's 6 years old now. Maybe 6 years old now. They discontinued the Pro series and went on to the Fusion series and dummied it up. They added some cool features like mixing 3 tracks, 4 tracks at a time. They added EQs to each individual track, which was wonderful. The effects, I think, got better. The screen was a lot easier to look at. But the way you actually mixed and the visualizations that you actually saw got stupid. It dummied it up. Mixmeister Pro 6 was like a production program, and I loved it for that reason. Yeah, sure, you could put a track in there and it would mix by default. You could turn the program on and mix right away if you wanted to. But if you dove a little deeper into it, you could do some pretty crazy stuff. And that's how I use it. I'm looping with it. I'm mixing on beats that it doesn't necessarily tell me to mix on, and having a good time. And I haven't moved forward. I'm not using a new program on the road. Yeah, sure, I have Serato here, and I love Serato. For emulating vinyl, the best. Simulating vinyl, with my 1200s, that's wonderful because I like the old school feel of turntables. I just don't want to go on the road with it. I want my road stuff to be easy. Virtual DJ, cool program, cool interfaces for it. I do like it, and you can have Virtual DJ mix for you, and you can mix it yourself. And I want a happy medium. I would like to see a company like Mixmeister come out with all the cool new stuff that the Fusion series has, along with all the great Pro stuff that the Pro series had, like the visualizations, being able to physically see your 4-bar loops, having brackets, intro and outro brackets. I like that. There was a lot you could do with that, and you can't do that anymore. I don't know. Why did it go backwards? There were a lot of people out there like Andrea mixing on beat who were like, guys, what are you doing? Nobody listened. I would promote the program, but there's no reason to. You can't even buy it anymore. I use it. People say, why don't you talk about it more? Well, what's the point of talking about it? It's not even available for you to get. I'm just teasing you. You got to go with the Fusion series, and I don't know. I wouldn't recommend the Fusion series to anybody. I think Ableton has a chance to maybe do something like this. It would be so cool to have a program that did everything that the old Mixmeister did, have all the cool new toys that the new Mixmeister has, and then the Ableton production tools built in. I'd also like to have incorporated within my DJ program something that I think Pitch and Time does, but I'm not sure because I've never played with Pitch and Time. I want to be able to take an old school track like Blondie's Rapture that was played with a real drum kit, real instruments, and it's not perfect on beat. Click on it and have all of those bass hits snap right into a perfect beat, so I would be able to easily mash up or mix with it. I did a mashup with, well, I used several tracks. I was inspired by DJ Ames' performance on the Iron Man movie. And I started out with Another One Bites the Dust, and then I went kind of old school crazy with it, had a good time with it. I got to Rapture, and one of my favorite tracks. But man, it was just almost damn near impossible to line up without chopping the living shit out of it. So I did, and it sounded cool. And I'm not going to play it for you. I do a lot of stuff I don't play for you because I just enjoy doing this. And I don't want to, I guess, infringe on anybody's copyright stuff. But, yeah, that would be a cool thing to see in a program. Take an old school track and be able to line those beats up so we could mash up with it, and we could do better mixes with it. So that's where I'd like to see technology going. Just a little further, guys. Maybe take the purists and forget about them, and know that there are always going to be companies that cater to them, and realize that a huge part of your market does indeed embrace technology, doesn't abuse technology, knows how to program, and isn't threatened by software that does some work for you. I mean, anything to make my job easier is a good thing, right? This definitely makes my job easier. And if anybody wants to challenge me, oh, you can't mix? Yeah, I can mix. And I've proven it before, and I don't really see a reason to do it again, but I know what I'm doing, and I can program. But yeah, technology is a good thing, and let's move it forward. Practice and enjoy.